Poof, poof, poof. Okay. Let's see where we are at. I got my lunch. Things are going well. So actually, let's just switch screens. I will try to pay attention and not forget to switch back. So let's just have a look at what's going on here. Let's just review. I know it's not quite as fun when you can't hear the voices, but the voices haven't really been recorded yet, so. So I'm just getting my bearings for the next shot. So where's Luca? Luca reappears. He's got berries for breakfast. But berries that have been in Monkey's mouth aren't really working for Mel and Tianara. There's that shot we did in Tahoma. So he says it's not far to Gripson, and Mel's like, but isn't Napur more like that way? And he says, basically he says, we'll make better time on the river. I think it winds around to Napur. Napur, I should say. Okay, so, to which Tianara says, it does, which surprises Mel and Luca, like how would she know that? Well, the way she knows that is her mom is a merchant, and they travel around these regions routinely. So, that means, let's see, we've got the mouths all in one layer, it looks like, so let's rock and roll with that. So, oh, by the way, let me reiterate this. If you're wanting to move a group of keys, this is a little strange, I noted it this morning, but it's a good thing to know. And I am using Krita 5.2.9, so it's the latest release. What I was finding was if you grab a cluster, you know, you basically lasso a cluster of keys. Like if I grab the third row, now it'll probably be different now. But if I grab the third row, shift, yeah, see, now it's going to be different. Basically what I saw this morning was that if I grab this key, like shift grab, it'll ripple everything higher in the stack. Whereas if I grab this one, assuming I've grabbed the whole group, and I guess I do have to grab an actual keyframe, then it seems to ripple everything. So the path going forward would seem to be, if you want to grab a big cluster because you're reusing keys and you want to keep everything synchronized, then you want to grab it low, not high. Now, I just showed that actually that doesn't really always work that way, so you'll have to play with it yourself and see. But anyway, we're in the mouth layer, and what we need to do actually right now, before we do anything else, is save this as 03.82. Boom, boom. Create a render folder, which we don't technically need to do because Krita will create it for us. But yeah, we're working directly in Krita. What did I say? 8.1? 8.2. Was this supposed to be 8.2? I don't know. I think it was supposed to be 8.1, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. All right. 8.1 might be a vapor. A vapor scene. Okay, in the mouths layer, let me see if it disappears. It does. Okay, that's good. So she says, actually those very words, it does. Okay, okay. So again, Krita 5.2.9. I'm going to kill it and restart it because I'm hitting the space bar and it's not playing back. Now this is, I should say, this is something I've noticed with Krita 5.2.6 and does seem to be a thing. when in doubt, I should probably like write a Python script to do this, but basically when in doubt, before you start working with Krita, just re-import all your hotkeys. I know that sounds crazy. See, while rewind works, and now playback works. See, isn't that weird? Krita is so inept at keeping track of its own hotkeys that you have to actually, every time you run Krita, reload them. Sounds insane, but it's basically what I found to be the case. So she says, let's go with the G key. We want raw. Background color, no outline. That should actually be foreground color now. Let me redo that. I don't like that little whippy curve I saw. Okay. So she says it does and I guess we'll go with the okay, let me just check this. Auto key blank. There's your problem. And this is strange. That's very strange. Maybe I'll blame that one on my keyboard. I have to apparently hit the insert key twice to get it to insert a blank keyframe. Alright. W key seems to work. Okay. Now this is interesting. So Mel, so she says, it does. Boom. Mel should turn there. So what we want is Mel, shadow, Mel. I think that's it. Probably those two layers right there. So he turns over 3 frames. And then what's this? He leans in. We don't need the lean in, I don't think. So let's go with this. I'm going to hit Control, drag these over here. So this is just Mel reacting to her comment. Whoops. So she says, it does. Huh? Okay. This bit here is no longer needed. And then Tia and her shadows just turn up. So we'll take these 3, move them to here. So she's reacting to his reaction. And then we can get into the lip sync. Okay. Yeah, this is a Krita-ism. Don't make the mistake of having a selection, because then no matter where you go, until you don't want the bug to, until you want to demonstrate the bug, this is what it does. I've got a selection. Maybe it's because I go back to here. Okay, so the lesson here, I'm never going to remember this until I've done it 50,000 times, but basically here's the lesson. If you deliberately or by accident have created a selection in Krita, it's going to loop on that selection forever. If you click back to the beginning this way by clicking in the header, this selection still exists. So you hit play, it jumps to it and starts looping again. So what that seems to suggest is that you must click in the timeline itself if you don't want that particular bug to manifest. And this is too early. Okay, so we click there so that we're getting rid of the selection. Okay, then her mouth, let's go to the mouth layer. Remember, you got to click on the header, not here. You can't click here for this. If you want to switch layers, you've got to explicitly grab the layer. So, what do we have here? Come on, Krita, you can update the cache. You can update the, so that I can scrub. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Oh, I see. You do it after I need you to. Of course you do. Boom, Boom. Okay, so we want the A key, and we'll go ahead and use liquefy so that it's pretty much impossible to mess up. Okay, so then does any of this matter? Well, yeah, this does. I would say this could go in there. Let's just run it straight. Let's see what this feels like. What? Oh, we got 2 blanks. That's not good. So this should be downstream. She's going to say what? This can all be poof deleted. Okay. So actually, if you can believe this, we're almost done with the shot. Same mistake as before. I accidentally had a selection. What? Okay, so we need this to be more like, let's do 8 times 8, 64 frames. Okay. She says it does. He's like, huh? She says, what? And her actual line is, hey, Ross. Nagut, nagut. Nagut, nagut 40. Okay, so now what we need is lip sync. So we're in the mouth layer. And what I was going to look at is the what? My mother's a merchant. We travel. Okay, got it. Got it. So she says, what? My mother's a merchant. We travel. What? Right there. Okay, so the what would be here. Back to the G key. Still in raw mode, that's good. And we are in auto key blank mode. What? Blink. And now we'll go into standard anime style. My okay, that's strange. Right now, I'm hitting the right arrow. I'm hitting the right arrow. I'm hitting right arrow over and over. Oh my god. Do you guys see that? Somebody needs to report this. If anybody's like really into reporting bugs to the Krita development team, this is a pretty horrific one. Wow. Okay, Krita 5.2.9, latest release. If you're in the timeline and you're doing animation and you hit your right or left arrow, it will actually go to the right and then back up, and then go to the right and then back up, and then go to the right and then back up, and keep backing up. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Okay, I think the shot is done. Okay, so save our work. Let's just render it. 64 is probably not enough. I should give myself a little bit of latitude here. So let's change this to 64. Let's just keep it in multiples of 8. Go with 72. Save this. I believe I already fixed this. I didn't. Oh my. So this needs to be 82. This needs to be 82. That's it. And we'll pop it in the shell. See if it's looking good. Okay. So let's go to back over to Vegas, and we're gonna go. Yeah, that last one was 81, so I guess I did number them correctly, so that's cool. So 72 at 8 frames per second. I said 72, I meant 82. Did I say? I don't even know what I just said, actually. Properties, disable resampling. Okay, so now let's look at what we've got here. Oh, you're missing out on these berries. I can't remember what else he says, but then he says, it's not far to Gripson. He's like, but isn't Nippur like that way? Because it's Nippur they actually have to get to. We'll make better time on the river. I think the river winds around to Nippur. She says, it does. Huh? What? My mother's a merchant. We travel. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so cool. So what have we accomplished today? So far? About 19 seconds of show. Actually, more than that, because I completed this one, but it was already half done. So where are we at today? We're approaching the 30-second point, actually, which is kind of amazing, because that's really the goal. The goal is to do 30 seconds a day and or a minute every 2 days. And that doesn't sound like it makes any sense on the face of it, but it actually does. Because the way the workflow goes, getting a minute done in 2 days is actually easier than getting 30 seconds done in 1 day. Hey, I was wondering if you were using one of the scenes as a walk and talk. It'd be relatively easy to bob them up and down as the background. Yeah, if I was going to do yeah, I mean, for sure, for economy, that will come up. Absolutely. Of course, that will come up. And if we're going to be doing a walk cycle, you'll notice actually here, when Luca shows up, for example, I was like, I'm not going to show him walking up. That's not necessary. So what I did was I said, well, let's have Luca speak, you know, in the background right there. Kind of startles him, and then he pops into the scene. So I'm always cheating. I'm always doing that type of thing. But yes, if I had the people walking along, that's exactly what I would do. I would simply have the characters bob up and down and pan a background behind them. You would have to pay me a lot to actually do a walk cycle, because I think 99 times out of 100 it's completely unnecessary. Now, as an animator, is it a good exercise? Absolutely. Of course it's a good exercise. One other thing I did want to look at here, come to think of it, is I think right there, I want to change Mel. Okay, Mel is merged, okay, so we can turn off the shadows. Okay, this works. So let's use the Conan brush, and let's just erase this. Oops. Okay, stop everything. You see how the color's a little off? It's because of this. I forgot about the gradient. You got to turn off any gradients that are in your scene, or they will, of course, going to foul up the colors that you sample, and you'll sample the wrong colors. So for this particular little bit right here, I'll just try to do it carefully. And we could actually put in a hint of the hair color as well. Why not? Okay. I just wanted a little bit more of a reaction from Mel. Don't feel like I did it that well. I don't feel like I did the best job ever. Kind of feel like that wants to be even more extreme, because it is fairly small on the screen actually. this is not that important, but can't hurt. And if you really wanted to drive the point home, you'd do this. You'd go like, what? I love it. Save it, render, done. Okay, then Lucas says, who's here besides, we've got 3 concurrent viewers, so who's here besides Ross? Ross is Nagut40. Who else is here? Amar, are you lurking? I think Amar's lurking. Maybe Darren T's lurks. Sometimes Darren lurks. Oh! I just re-rendered it without turning the gradients back on. I'm so bad. Save our work. Render. Sorry! Yeah, we may have that shot you're talking about, Ross. May actually come up because there's a brief departure in the show back to Vespar and Tobias basically entering Gripson. That's going to be kind of interesting to do. And then the kids basically make their way to Gripson. And that part of the script isn't written yet. It's plotted, but I need to go ahead and script it. So honestly, once I get the sequence I'm working on done right now, which has probably about 20 more seconds left to go, if that, then I'm going to have to divert to some script writing for a session or two. But Ross P. Wait a minute. Now that's not, you can't do that, Ross. You can't do that. You can't. Well, I mean, I guess you can. Increasing my number of apparent viewers. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Okay, so let's go ahead and kill this. There's no reason to keep that open. I'm going to go back to this one because this is a really brief shot. So what I'm going to do on this one is take all of this, get rid of it, take these 2 guys, and this is going to be 83. So File, Save As. You know, I kind of have it clear in my mind where I'm going at this point, so that hence I'm moving pretty fast. 0383. You can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. As Barack Obama would say, yes, we can. 83. Okay. Now we need to add the render folder. Save this. I need to actually look at that on the other screen. Yep, looks good. Poof. Okay, so that's saved. Okay, so all we need to do is actually change Luca's well, you'll see in just a minute. Boop. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We probably want to lock these 2 layers. I don't know why I never thought of that before. Let's just lock the layers. Is this anything? This is nothing. That doesn't belong in there. Save. Okay. So by locking the layers, I can kind of do the group thing. In other words, I'm trying to keep the shadow and the baked character layers synchronized. That's all. Okay? But I'm going to try it this way. So I hit the A key, liquefy, and I need to keep monkey out of it. Okay, I'm going to actually do 1. Oh, Krita, I thought you got over that. And is it doing it? Okay. So now what should happen? I guess we'll I don't know if it was Amar or somebody this morning was saying, hey, you're doing more squash and stretch. And like I said, when it's Luca and Monkey, I do tend to. Okay. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right, so now I need to turn these guys off because I'm going to have to sample some colors and make a few changes here. So, G key. Actually, let's just sample that color. Oops, stop everything. Stop everything. Since I'm repurposing material, this needs to be auto key duplicate. Okay. He just says, see? That's all. And let me look at one thing here. And then she says, however. I got an email from my distributor. Keep pedaling the bike, my friend, he said. Yeah, it was a good day. I finally got the royalty statement for fourth quarter, and it was actually 50% up from where it was third quarter, which is incredible. So that means this show is earning like about $2,000 a month for the last 6 months or so. I don't really understand it. I don't know. I find it baffling. But I ain't going to complain. Actually, this does not belong here. He says, see? Okay. So this really should be here. So yes, I'm very happy about that. Okay, so that's a little sloppy. Come on, Dave. Really, dude? Ugh. Forget it. Let's go back to the Conan brush. It's too hard to control the freehand path tool. Okay. All right, so now we need to also grab these guys. A key liquefy. I said A key liquefy. We'll come back and fix the issue, the obvious issue here in half a second. Don't panic, people. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is solo the layer, B key, sample this, select nothing, and can I do the fill tool? That looks, ooh. That looks pretty clean. That doesn't. Okay, so I want to check my settings here. This has been something that I've been kind of looking at lately. Okay, I've got a grow by 1 and feather by 0. I'm going to go back to feather by 1 and see if that does the trick. Not really. Damn, and that fills up everything. So I really have no option but to just hand fix it. That's okay. Takes 1 second. Hand fix it. Okay, and I'm trying to see. Let me turn the background back on and see. There doesn't seem to be any flaws in this one. So, perfect. Now, the normal, actually, let's do this. First of all, let's turn all this back on. And then let's just, the timing really has to be more like this, like just at literally half a second. Okay. And then, normally what happens, actually, in this show, is monkey echoes whatever Luke does. Okay, and you can see a problem, by the way. You can see that monkey got monkeyed with. That's okay. That's okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to select monkey here, Control C, and then we're going to go delete, Control Shift V. Okay, here we have to do this. We have to reselect it because Krita used to remember the selection and it doesn't now, which is really, 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 really dramatically, like, I can't overstate how unfortunate that is. And one could say stupid, but it's what it is, so we'll work with it, because if you're going to complain enough, then why are you even using Krita there, Dave? Okay, got it. Now what we can do, just for fun, is have monkey essentially do the same thing. What we're going to do is we're going to create that selection that just excludes. This is what I should have done when I was working with Luca, actually. Just create a selection that excludes the monkey. And so now I can go and then come back to this. There's no reason to do this other than it's just a little monkey idiom. Oh God, what the hell did Krita just do? Ugh. Okay. Man. Okay. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and have a little more fun with it and have monkey also transition to a smile. Okay, that's what he would do. He would go like that. So B key. Whoops. Sample that. Sample that. See? Okay, there's one problem right there. See the problem? It's a little problem. It's a little problem. A key. Liquefy. Boop. Okay, looks like that's the only one. Okay, so he's going to say, bloom, kill, end, stop. There. So this should be 24. Okay. I think we're going to hit our 30 seconds today, guys. Save our work. Render 80. That says 80. That does not say 82. Yep. So I have to put it on the other screen so I can see it better. It's both larger and more in focus. So that's that. This is going to... Whoa, wait a second. 82... It's telling me 82 is already rendered. So what I need to do is stop everything. Just be abundance of caution here. Go to our favorites, which is episode 3. Go down to 82 and see what's in there. 83. Oh. Okay. Dave, you are a fool. This is supposed to be 83. I made a grievous error. Sorry. Okay. 83, 83, 83. Boink. This really isn't going to get us to 30 seconds, actually, because this is only adding 3 seconds to the show. All right, go over here. Boom, 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 boom. Well, and plus the other thing you got to remember is that it'll probably be edited down a bit too, you know. So 8 frames per second. There's 83. Pop it in. We don't want any interpolation. All right, let's see how this flows. She says, it does. Hmm? What? My mother's a merchant. We travel. See? Okay, perfect. Except we are going to lose a couple seconds here. She says we travel. Well, we're going to lose. Yeah, I mean, we're going to lose about 2/3 of a second. And plus, actually, we can't compromise our editing because we're trying to create the show faster. But there is no doubt I am basically trying to hurry and get episode 3 done, with the caveat that I want the quality to be up, not down. Right? We travel. See? Perfect. Okay, so he says that. Monkey chirps. Bloop. And I meant to hit enter, not spacebar. Boom, right there. Yeah, so this really needs to end like right about there. So where are we? We're at 12:04, so we're past the 12-minute point. So yeah, I'm still only at 26 seconds on the day. That's okay. The overall pace, though, has been really good. If I was doing every day what I've done today, I would definitely be hitting pretty close to 30 seconds every day, which is amazing because that means basically you can get an episode done in about 6 weeks. Is that right? If you figure you're working 6 days a week, 6 times 6 is 36 times... No, that'd be only 18 minutes. What is the pace? Well, it's 3 minutes a week. That'd be 8 weeks, so 2 months. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's about right. Crank out the episode, or do the animation in 2 months, and then you got a month to do all the, tighten up the editing, lay in the voices. I've got to do the musical score and sound effects, obviously, all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to do. An episode every 3 months would be a perfectly fine pace. All right, anything going on in the chat? Let's find out. Not sure if you saw my comment on a video some weeks ago. I'm up for assisting if the certain circumstances. Oh, okay, gotcha. With episode 3, it might be, you might be right and you might be wrong. We really don't know. What we know for sure is that Amazon must be suggesting it to people to watch. And then once they start watching it, apparently they keep watching it. That's the only explanation I have at this point. And obviously, that's not like big bucks or anything, but it is pretty amazing to think about. My God, you sit and make a cartoon every day and actually kind of make a living. I mean, to me, it literally boggles my mind. The coolest thing about it to me, though, is the fact that when I envisioned and started creating this show, I very specifically created the show I wanted to make, not the show that kind of the distributor was recommending. And yet it still worked, which is, to me, that's doubly cool. It's probably the first thing I've ever done. Because, like, the chick flick horse movies, the stuff I've done that's been kind of successful has never been, I try to make it my own and do my best, obviously. But it's never been like, wow, this is really the show I want to make. Or movie or whatever. With this show, it is. I'm actually having fun because I like the characters. I know what the arc is. I know what's going to happen over 12 episodes. And it's a lot of fun, So, when you can have that, yeah, like they say, nice work if you can get it. So, but the only reason I make that point here is to encourage people that if you look at what I'm doing, you think, well, man, wow, could I make a cartoon? And, could it maybe be somewhat successful-ish? And the answer is, clearly it's possible. If I can do it, obviously it's possible. But yeah, Ross, at this point, I totally, frankly, I'm probably not going to be farming anything out anytime soon, but it's not that there couldn't be a day or a time when that would make sense, actually. I don't think it will be until I'm past episode 3, though. Especially because, actually, if I see the financial arc continue to improve like it has over the next 2 quarters, then I can say that at that point I might start to look at um, reaching out to people like yourself. I don't want to throw out false promises or any BS here. So, I mean, the fact is I'm going to be, for the moment, doing this all by myself. But if I was going to look outside, you'd be one of the first people on the list. That's for damn sure. No question about it. Gives me hope to produce. Well, exactly. That's my whole point. The hardest part is keeping it simple. I think anything's fair game. The truth of the matter is, for somebody who, I think I could be wrong, but it seems to me that the most important thing is make it funny. Whatever you're doing, make it genuinely funny. Now, this show is not funny, the way Family Guy is funny or Futurama. It's funny more the way Avatar is funny, where it's amusing. There's things in it that are amusing. It's one of the reasons why it's like decent for kids, but also okay for adults, which was totally my whole goal. And that's really because, when my son Kyle, Kyle is 21 or 22. He's close to graduating from college, and when he was 8 to 16 years old, we used to binge watch Avatar like over and over. We watched it so many times. It's just totally ridiculous how much we watched it. But it was a great, it's a good memory. It's something we did together as father and son that just pure fun, Lay in bed and watch 3 or 4 episodes of Avatar. Good stuff. Keep wanting to inject more drawings in, make it more complicated. Well, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a judgment call. I mean, it's like this shot. This shot's a good example of that. I mean, honestly, I could have just had him say the line, and Monkey doesn't need to do anything. The shot would probably be 2/3 of the length that it is. But I mean, for me, it's like, look, if it takes 2 minutes to do a little liquefy and a little squash and stretch, why not? It's like it's the least time-consuming part of the process, especially on a shot like this where I'm just repurposing the assets from an earlier shot. The more I can do that, believe me, the better. That's by far the way to go. Okay, so he says, okay, so she says, however, okay. This might be where, this is going to be where I stop, because actually it's my time for, normally around 3:30 is when I hang out with Valerie and we watch one of these Asian TV shows. And obviously Tom is not here, because if Tom was here, he'd be screeching about the fact that I have been on the wrong screen for a bit here. But I've just been talking anyway, so it's not like you haven't missed anything. What we need is, let me see here. I'm looking for a close-up of Tianara from, I don't think I have one. Did I ever have a shot where she was here? Oh, yeah, that's all I have. Now, honestly, I could use that, actually. Let me pull up 77 and just take a quick look before I wrap it up for today. I am assuming that was brought into Krita. What I've been doing is basically going open the folder and look at what's in there. If all you see is a blend file, then you know that it was never brought over to Krita. If it has a Krita file, then the Krita file would have been the last place that the scene resided. So it's actually part of this much bigger scene. Okay, so what do we have here? Actually, you know what the answer to this one would be? Go back to Blender. Actually go back to Blender, and then I can take her hand out of there. I don't know if her hand was on a different layer, and that's what we need to find out. So hang on, am I on the right screen? Yes, I am. Okay, so this would be 77, I believe. Yes, we need to go to 77, poof, and see if it's going to be easy or if it's going to be hard to repurpose. This was a really complicated scene. Well, I don't know. I mean, I could use that. I could basically start there. Erase her hand, put her mouth in, and all of a sudden we've got the bones of a new scene. So should we do that? Let's do that. The only thing in this entire scene is the lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get radical here, okay, guys? Watch this. I'm going to turn off auto lock. And I'm going to actually unceremoniously start deleting everything. Delete keyframes. So all we have is this. Plop this back to frame 0 and save this as 03.84. File, save as. So we want to create a new folder. 03.84. Okay. 03 dash. I said dot. I meant dash. Sorry. Little Morse code mistake there. So save as that. For our purposes, it would probably be prudent to go edit this right now. I don't know if Blender lets you. I mean, it does let you manually edit it, I know, but let's try this. I'm gonna go. Okay, so episode 3, scene 384. Temp. See, look what Blender did. Of course, actually strike that. That's not Blender. That's me, because back when I was working on this very long, complex scene, I did actually store some stuff temporarily in a different folder than normal. Okay, so I don't like the way Blender highlights that blue. That's like, I can't see that. I have to put that on the other screen to see all the tiny little tick marks and slashes and everything else. So this would be render. Okay, so if you wonder why I'm doing it this way, what I'm actually doing right now is I'm testing to see if Blender is going to create the folders that I need. Having just put in the path by name, now I'm going to go start at frame 0 and end at frame what? Hang on, gotta look at the script. She only says the word however in this particular shot. However, so yeah, let's do 24. 24 is it. We can always add them. Doesn't matter too much until it's brought into Vegas, and then it presents a potential problem. So I'm going to hit Control F12 and see if Blender actually created the folders I needed. It looks like it did. Nope, that's the wrong one. So I need to actually refresh this. Refresh, refresh, refresh. It's actually the one flaw, the only flaw in the Faststone image viewer that I've found. Unless you want to get all picky about the fact that it doesn't understand like some formats like SVG. But look, Blender did it. Blender generated the render folder, and now we're all ready to get to work tonight or tomorrow on this scene. The first thing we will do is go into draw mode and just erase all this bit here. And what do we have? We've got ink pen, so we're actually fudge. Wrong material, I bet. I guess actually, as a matter of habit, I probably would do well to practice doing this up here. Okay. And that was pretty bad. Yep, there we go. That's it. I'm done. Well, I guess I could do this as well. Blah, 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 blah. Boom, boom. We'll just kind of put that in there. Actually, that should probably go like that so that it's going to fill properly. That's her hair, obviously. And so this is the beginning of the next shot. I'm just going to switch to the front view. Okay, so those are closed shapes. And lines. Okay. Shadows, sketch, Mel silhouette can be removed. Monkey ink can be removed. The fills layer should still be in there. Turn it on. Oh, it looks like she's already in color. What do you know? What do you know? Why does it look all ghosty, though? That's kind of weird. Oh, because, well, no. I don't know why. That happened the other day. That happened the other day. When I switched to solid mode, everything went really light. And it was in this same scene that I repurposed here today. Not sure why it does that. I guess I don't much care. Because Tia garment. Yeah, that's actually a little too clunky. Tia hair. Okay, that's going to require a little touch up for sure. Bloop. Okay, stop. I hit control instead of shift. Sorry. Okay, Tia skin. Tia lines. Let's go deep and down and dirty here. Edit mode. Oh, okay. I'm just going to grab those guys. Okay, Alt A. Let's try that again. Okay, Alt A. Let's try that one last time. Let's select linked. Starts to get us there. But yeah, this is... well, let's just do it this way. Hit the G key. Stop. Let's do isolate the layer. This is a totally wacky way to do what I'm doing. The problem I have is that for some reason, let's see, select linked. Well, now I can grab it. Okay, fine. Get rid of it then. Okay, problem solved. On the fills layer, there is one thing missing, which is... well, I'm going to actually change for this scene. I'm going to call this Tia's eyes. We're going to move this down, 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 down. I wonder if these can all be grabbed like that. Nope, you can't. Okay, stop. Oh, I see what's going on. Wow. So the lines are still there. That is really strange. And now everything looks lighter too. I need to start hitting undo here. Very, very weird. Very weird. I'm bumming now because everything was ready to go. And I guess it still looks good here. That's not perfect, but it's pretty much functional. We'll get rid of that layer for the moment. But yeah, the question is, am I seeing this correctly? Obviously, these need to be colored as well. But, I mean, when I look at it really close, they do seem to be the right color. Yeah. Charcoal ink. I am going to say, let's make this an actual neutral type color. And then let's go all the way to black. And come up a little bit. Guess it must be right. Yeah, that'll work. A little problem there. So, Tia garment. Draw mode. Oops, I hit control instead of shift again. Sorry. Shift. And a little glitch there. So now I can't even remember actually what it was I was setting out to fix. That can be a little on the sloppy side. It's not going to matter. And we'll use the cherries color for her bindi. Okay. And then Tia eyes. Obviously you can see a pretty radical issue there, right there on the lines. Alright, now let's take this. I want to make it more like that and a little lighter. Yeah, pretty. Alright, that's it for now. Excuse me. Anything here gives me hope. Okay, so that's from a while ago. Alright guys, I'm going to sign off. It's time to hang out with my woman. And as you guys know, there will be more later. That's done.